All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's talk about this. So, stuff is getting wild. It's getting crazy. It's getting wild. So, President Trump has made a couple comments that people have taken offense to, and the media has just run with it. The View, Kamala, everybody, the mainstream media, they're just having a field day with some of the stuff that he's been saying the last couple of days. Now, I'm gonna show you some clips. We're gonna get into it, and you can tell me what you think, but I'm going to tell you what I think because it's getting blown way out of proportion. I think at this point they're just trying to take anything that he says. Now, I don't even think you can take it out of context. Look, I think it's ridiculous what they're doing. You can't take out of context what he says. If you watch the clip in its entirety, and some even one of the clips that he made against Liz Cheney, okay, look, she's a warmonger. Everybody knows it. Her and her daddy. That's why he was not elected president. And look, we'll just get into this here. This first one is this is about him talking about wanting to protect women. Okay, he wants to protect women. He's talking now. The context of this is he's talking about the illegal immigrants coming across the border into our country, and not only are they taking advantage of our system and the benefits that they get from the system, but they're it's dangerous. These people that are coming in, they're dangerous. We'll just leave it at that. And this is what he's talking about. And the fact that Lake and Riley is one prime example of the fact that these people are not good for the country. Okay, and this is mainly what he's talking about when he's throwing this out there, saying that he wants to protect women. And he says yes, his advisors told him not to say it. And it's, you got it. We're going into Saturday. It's Friday night. We're going into Saturday. There's 4 days until people are going to go vote. There's already early voting going on. There's been a lot of people that have voted already. But he just needs to play it cool for the next few days. Let people vote, and I think he's got it. But he says stuff like this. They're gonna take it out of context, and they're gonna attack him any way they can because it's coming down to the wire, and they're gonna attack him on anything that they can. But here, we'll check this out, and we'll see. This is exactly what he said, and then I'm gonna show you how they take it out of context.
People told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. I said, why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said.
He's talking about illegal aliens. Okay, just keep it in context.
They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say, pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to protect them from migrants coming in. I'm going to protect them from foreign countries that want to hit us with missiles and lots of other things. Remember, for 4 years we had no war other than I defeated ISIS, but I defeated ISIS in... I felt like Brett Favre. I defeated ISIS in 4 weeks instead of 5 years, which they said it was going to take. Because we have a great military, we just didn't have any leadership at the top. In the office of the president or even close to it. So I said, I'm going to defend and I'm going to protect women. I'm not going to let people go up to the suburbs or go into places where they live, whether it's suburbs or cities or farms. We're going to protect our women. At the border, we're going to protect our women. And also, we're going to protect our men and our children. We're going to protect everybody.
Okay, so that's what he was saying. He's talking about the illegal immigration and the dangers that they pose to our country and our citizens. He's not saying anything else. He wants to protect women and men and children from the illegal immigration problem that we have in our country right now, because it is crazy how many people have come into this country and they've just come across during this Harris and Biden administration. It's insane how many people. The low end, I think, was 15 million. A high end, you could say close to like 22 million. Regardless, and that's just the ones we know of. Regardless, it's insane. It should have never happened. But that's the context of what he was talking about. Now, Kamala, cackling Kamala, she's gonna put her 2 cents in on it, and look, we'll take a look at what she says.
I will comment on the former President Donald Trump's remark about women and whether they like it or not. And listen, it actually is, I think, very offensive to women in terms of not understanding their agency, their authority, their right, and their ability to make decisions about their own lives, including their own bodies.
How? Tell me what is offensive about that when he says that he wants to protect women, and then he included men and children. How is it offensive for a presidential candidate to say that he wants to protect the citizens from illegal immigrants that are doing terrible things to citizens? How? How? Look, this is a prime example of somebody taking what he says out of context and throwing their own spin on it. And she brings it right back to the abortion because it's the only thing that she's running on.
And this is just the latest on a series of reveals by the former president of how he thinks about women and their agency. Whether he has said, as he has, that women should be punished for their choices, whether he has talked about his pride in taking away a fundamental right from women, whether it be how he has actually created a situation in America where now 1 in 3 women lives in a Trump abortion ban state.
I love how she always comes back to the Trump abortion ban. It's not the Trump abortion ban. It got kicked back to the states where people can vote on it how they want it to be in their state. That's where it is. He has nothing to do with it anymore. He put the judges in place to get it overturned, Roe v. Wade. And now it is. It's back to the states where a lot of people thought it should have been in the first place. Let's not forget that before, shoot, I'm trying to think now when Roe v. Wade was actually enacted. I want to say 1970 something. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But look, we never had it before that. It was in place for 50 years. Now it's overturned. It's back to the states where it was before that. So it's not a Trump abortion ban. He's not doing a national abortion ban. It's back on the states where they vote on it. J.D. Vance, when he was on Rogan, it was brought up on there. It was kicked back to the states, and even in J.D. Vance's state in Ohio, it was a different outcome than what he was thinking. It was more liberal outcome than what he wanted it to be. More than J.D. Vance, he's a pro-life guy. So am I. And it didn't go the way that he would hope in his state. But you know what? It's on the states now, and that's where it is. So, but to take that comment and just swing it into the abortion problem issues that we got going on in the country right now, that talk about gaslighting. I know a lot of people. I don't like to use that term because it's just thrown out there so much nowadays that I don't like to use it. But this is a prime example of somebody who she's taking what he says, twisting it to what she wants people to think, and it's just not true at all, not in the least. All right, so then President Trump he went on with Tucker Carlson, and this was in Arizona, and he was talking about Liz Cheney, and they don't like each other. I don't like Liz Cheney. I don't like Dick Cheney. Anyway, he was talking about Liz Cheney, and talking about how she's a warmonger and that she wants wars because that's the rumor around it all is that she gets paid a lot of money from making wars happen. So, you know, anyway.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. But she's a stupid person. And I used to have, I'd had meetings with a lot of people, and she always wanted to go to war with people.
Okay, look, that's let me just point this out. Okay, what I get from that is that yes, Liz Cheney makes decisions on sending people to war, but it'd be a different story if she was the one that actually had to go to war. Maybe her decisions wouldn't be the same if she was the one that had to go into that conflict. That's what I took out of that. That's what most rational, sane people would take out of that. Oh, no. That's not how the media, that's not how they took it. That's not how Liz Cheney took it. That's not how Kamala takes it. Look at this. This is, I'm going to show you. This is a post on X from Brian Krasenstein. Look at this. He says, sickening and dangerous. Everybody needs to see Trump literally calling for Republican Liz Cheney to be shot. Cheney responded, they threaten those who speak against them with death. That is not what he said. He literally said the case could be different if she was the one that had to go to war instead of sending 10,000, people that she don't know and don't care about. That's what he's saying. He is saying she probably wouldn't vote for that war if she had to fight in that war. That is what he's saying. That anybody who can't understand that, I don't understand. I don't. Anyway, so oh my gosh. So let me see. Let me find this other one here. This is I want to show you all this one. Yeah, that one. So Kamala, she was on the runway, and she's going to talk about this. This is her on the runway talking about his evil rhetoric. Because, the Democrats and the mainstream media, they don't have no evil rhetoric like Trump does. Not calling him Nazis or his followers Nazis. They called an entire rally of his in New York a Nazi rally. So they don't have evil rhetoric on their side, not at all. But this is what she said.
And then, even worse, he has increased his violent rhetoric, Donald Trump has, about political opponents, and in great detail, suggested rifles should be trained on former Representative Liz Cheney. This must be disqualifying. Anyone who wants to be president of the United States who uses that kind of violent rhetoric is clearly disqualified and unqualified to be president.
Okay, look, I'm just going to point this out real quick. The rhetoric from the left, including Kamala Harris, there has been 2 assassination attempts on President Trump. 2. Because of rhetoric from the left. That's not disqualifying? Call me crazy. Liz Cheney, she responded to this with a post on X. I got this off of CBS News because I couldn't actually find her post on X, but this is from CBS News. This is her reaction to it. She says, this is how dictators destroy free nations. They threaten those who speak against them with death. We cannot entrust our country and our freedom to a petty, vindictive, cruel, unstable man who wants, who wants to be a tyrant. It's not what he said. He's not threatening anybody with violence. He's not nothing. He's simply pointing out the fact that you wouldn't want to go to war, so why would you send people just because you don't know them. That's why you're okay with sending people you don't even know off to a battlefield because you don't know them. You don't care. That's what he's saying. It'd be different if it was you going off to war. That's what he's saying. But oh my gosh, these people that, like I said, they will do and say anything. Now Arizona, the AG in Arizona has come out and has talked. You got to check this out. They're investigating the comments made by Trump to see if it's something that they can get him on. Oh my! I'm telling you, it's wild. It's wild. Check this out.
And Bram Resnick, the political anchor and reporter from our NBC affiliate in Phoenix, KPNX, joins us. Talk about this breaking news regarding Donald Trump's comments that he made about Liz Cheney in Arizona last night. The Attorney General is responding.
That's right. I just spoke to Attorney General Chris Mays about 2 hours ago for the taping of my Sunday show. She told me she just gotten off the phone with her criminal division chief, and she was investigating whether what Donald Trump said about Liz Cheney constituted a death threat under Arizona law.
How?
I'll tell you, under Arizona law, it is illegal to make threats or intimidate someone. Can be charged as a Class 1 misdemeanor, Class 6 felony. Chris Mays told me they're looking into it. I asked her whether this was just political speech, free speech. She said we're checking to see if it crossed that line. But she also put it in the larger perspective. If you're here right now, you begin to understand how this place is ready for a high security event on Tuesday, an election. Our sheriff's office is talking about a no tolerance policy for protests. Chris Mays is activating all her agents. Every law enforcement agency in the state is involved with protecting the vote, protecting voters. So that's Chris Mays brought that into the conversation, that for Donald Trump to make these kinds of remarks at this time, such a really fraught and tense moment here in Maricopa County, is just bad.
Okay, look. It's just bad. It's just bad. Don't say mean things about us. That's what that is. He's pointing out the fact that it would be completely different if she was the one that had to go to war instead of people that she don't even know or care about. That's all it is. I know I've said it 1,000 times already. That's all that statement was. And they have taken this and just run with it. Oh my gosh. I want to show you this. Let me find this other one I found. I gotta show you this because it was pretty good. President Trump's National Press Secretary, Caroline Levitt. She was on. Let me think. It was one of the networks. Once I bring it up, it'll remind me. But here it is. Okay, so let me bring this up. And she absolutely destroyed this. This is ABC. Okay, she destroyed this person on here. This is a post from Sarah Rose on here. So, but wow. I mean, I saw this and I was like, holy crap. Good on her. She didn't let ABC bully her. She wasn't having it. Check this out. This is great.
You want to talk about violence against political opponents? Let's talk about the fact that Democrats have been labeling President Trump a threat to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to Hitler, one of the worst mass murderers in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him. He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail for it. That is real political violence that has led to 2 heinous assassination attempts on President Trump's life that, by the grace of God, he was able to escape, and he is here with us today. So yes, President Trump knows a little bit about political violence because he's experienced it himself. And talking about the tragic realities of war that Liz Cheney and her father, Dick Cheney, have got this country into is not political violence. violence. It's talking about the reality of the foreign conflicts that the Washington, D.C. establishment have sold out young Americans to for decades.
Yet, of course, after those attempted assassination attempts on the former president's life, his opponents reached out to him and said they do not accept political.
Look, I'm gonna say this right now. They said, yeah, they called him and they said they don't condone political violence. But then 5 seconds later, they're going back to the same rhetoric, calling him Hitler and a threat to democracy. So you can't even claim that that don't fly.
Violence that has been a key difference. I do want to play you.
She points it out.
No, please. His opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those 2 assassination attempts. The second attempted assassin on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a threat to democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie. And yes, you will take political violence like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Last week, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a Nazi. That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And I am so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today in 2024, President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016, because people don't trust the media and they're not buying the Harris campaign's closing argument that he's some great threat to our democracy, because they lived under him for 4 years as president and our democracy and our country was stronger than it is today.
Get her. Yep. Caroline, props to you, because look, she destroyed that girl. She wasn't having none of that. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is getting crazy, and I've been saying it. It's gonna get worse. It's getting wild. It's crazy, and it's only gonna heat up more come election day. I hope y'all stay safe out there, because there's a lot of crazy stuff happening. I mean, even Pennsylvania still had they extended that from my last video that y'all saw. They extended that early voting out today till 5. And apparently there was only 2 poll workers at one of the locations, and there was like a 5+ hour wait time for them. So look, it's getting crazy. Look, I hope those people stayed in line and got their vote in, and hopefully that went okay. But look, I hope y'all stay safe. It's gonna get crazy. Just go vote. Make your voices heard, and stay safe out there. I'm gonna go vote in person on election day, so that's the way I've always done it. That's the way I'm gonna do it this year too. So appreciate you hanging out. If you like what you saw, hit that follow, like, subscribe, and hope y'all have a good evening. I'll see y'all on the next one.